Hello everyone. So you heard my name is Alexandra Luppold. I come from Calgary, but I also before that I came from Germany. There I had my education as a garden master. I came here in March '98 because I wanted to live my dream, and my dream was to have my own organic farm. So, and I did that. The only thing nobody told me when I came here, that you have to count the days where you have no frost. That was a little bit a shock for me. But I was 2 years in Calgary, and in 2 years I had my own business actually going. And how I did do that, I was looking for what this nature has to give me. I didn't try to force my will onto nature. No, I looked what is best I can grow, and then I go with it. And this is pretty much what I would like to share with you today, than rather putting our will on the environment, but rather because everything is given to us so freely, and also in a great abundance. You just have to know what to look for, and also to understand the language of nature, or the language of the plants. So I created a business for myself. I delivered salad greens for the high-end or fine dining restaurants, because this was the thing that grew very well in the cold season. So I'm talking about 60 frost-free days. I mean, you are here in Kelowna. I mean, how many do you have? Like 120, 150? You are so blessed. You're living in a paradise of gardening. So you gotta look what you got here. So business was going. I delivered the salad greens. My customers really liked it, and they also wanted to know what did I do, because they had never tasted salad greens like that. There was lots of taste in it, and they kept so long. So, okay, do you really want to know? Yeah, I want to know. So I told them that I am speaking to the plants, and they are talking back, and I just loved them. And at first they called me crazy Alex, by the way. And they said, well, okay, whatever you do, just keep doing. And I said, you know, it's really easy. You follow a recipe. I mean, you follow a recipe, you follow the same recipe, and you still have 2 different cakes or whatever you follow. What you bring in is yourself. What you bring in is your heart and your excitement about it. When I told them that, they understood what I was talking about. So I'm hoping that I can get you also excited about gardening. And what I will share is easy stuff, right? I'm not the scientific stuff, the easy stuff. What I have noticed is that more and more people talking about gardening, community gardens. There's many reasons why people do it. One is the sustainability for our great earth, right? And we have to do that. You know, we cannot keep going what we have done so far. Just taking out. Food safety is another one. You know, how long do you go to a store and buy your stuff? You know, food safety is another one. Saving money is another one. Eating healthy. So you all have your different reasons why do you go into gardening, or maybe all of those. But have you noticed also that there's more and more gardening out there? So what do we get out of our garden? We get nutrition out of our garden. We get the food, of course. We get medicine out of it. And peace. Now, peace doesn't grow on trees, but you do get it. And I think everyone who's a gardener here, who has already a garden? So are you agree with me? When you go in the garden, nothing matters. We wonder why that is. Because you're having a connection there to life. You are alive, and so is your garden. And you feel that they don't judge you. Everything is perfect in your garden, even if you have lots of weeds in there. Okay. By the way, I have the most weediest garden you can think of, but my stuff tastes very good. And I will tell you also why that is. What I like to share here with you in that half an hour, 45 minutes, is just the tip of the iceberg, right? So I do give workshops in that if you want to have a little bit or more information. But I will have put it together that I can give you some tips maybe you have not heard before, so that you can apply that right away. So if you apply that what I have shared, what I will share in the workshop with you or here, if you apply that not just to your garden but also to your life, this is what you get out of it. You get health to your physical body, you get peace to your emotion, get balance to your mind, and you also get a lift in your spirit. This is all what you can get out of your garden. And food as well, not just that, you know. Did you know that the vegetables you grow are 1,000 times stronger than the stuff you can buy in your store? Did you know that? This is why I also say it's like medicine. Even if it's a carrot, it's still a medicine for you. Why? Because the vegetables you grow, they know exactly the same environment you live in. A strawberry out of Mexico has no idea what you have to deal with. Like in my case, with snow in late April or something like that, right? So your vegetable shares the same sun with what you live in. It's the same air, the same water, and the same soil. And what is in there, you also have the 4 elements in there, right? The fire, the air, the water, and the earth. It's right in there. It's all be shared. Freshness, of course. The fresher, the better, because of this high amount of nutrition or energy or chi, what is still in your vegetables. It's also, this makes it all stronger. Appropriate variety of vegetables. And I put there pineapple because pineapples don't grow here. So how can they give you and support you where you live? This is why these vegetables you grow, you touch with your hands, you touch with your heart, are so much stronger. I really believe that through the plants we are able to take in the energies of the sky and the earth. And through that you can really raise your own vibration and your energy. And the ones who have gardened already, when you start eating your own vegetables, you know what I'm talking about, right? So how do we can turn our gardens into a garden and a medicine garden? By using organic and biodynamic principles, and as well yourself, because you do it. Okay, so I will share a couple of those biodynamic principles. The biodynamic principles are massive. You have some here right in Kelowna, is some biodynamic farmers, the Summer Hills. So, you know, this comes from Rudolf Steiner. If you're interested in a little bit more, and going a little bit more in details, you can go and Google it for yourself, right? I'm not gonna go into it, I just wanted to mention it. So, I like to share with you just the practical and easy application, because you have to have fun in your garden. If you take it too serious, and if you think it's too hard work, you're not gonna do it. And that is not the point. The point is really to have fun with it and enjoy what you do. So I will talk about the vegetable families, because we have separate families put in different categories, about the calendar, what I'm using, the rotation, and how you can actually bring in those cosmic energies. Okay, let's go first to the families. We have the root family. So every plant has a root, has a stem, a leaf, a flower, and a fruit. Exception, of course, in different plants, but usually a plant needs a root. Even an orchid who grows on a tree has some roots there. Okay, so this is not what I'm talking about. What you do with the family is what you will harvest from it. Okay, like a potato is under the soil, it's under the ground in the soil. This would be qualified as a root vegetables. These families are also important to know because for later on the rotation and also with the use of the biodynamic calendar. By the way, this picture there are dandelion roots. Medicine, okay? Not a weed, medicine. So then we have the leaf family. This is everything you harvest as the stem or the leaf. So you have to look at your plant. What do I harvest? What do I eat? This goes to that family. Then the flower, that is pretty clear, right? Is it clear? For example, the broccoli. The flower of the broccoli is a yellow flower. When it's flowered, you cannot eat it anymore. It's already too late. The broccoli itself is actually a mutation kind of the before flower. And fruit. Fruit, everything your fruits that, you know, including the tomatoes, the zucchini. Here's another picture that shows you a little bit. Your beans, your peas belongs all to the fruit family. This is like when the flower has created a fruit already around its flower. So this is how you sort your vegetables into the families. It's not heavy feeder or light feeder, how it usually traditional is done. Okay. Also, the reason why I'm doing that is so that everything stays in balance. Okay. Then I'm getting the biodynamic calendar, and this one really helped me to organize. After having 1 acre garden just by myself, raising some chickens for eggs, I'm talking about 135 chickens. I love doing it. They are actually really smart and very cute. So I needed something to organize myself, and I use this calendar, and you can order it. It's already done. They put everything very nicely together so that you know which day is a root day, okay? Which day is a flower day. So you can actually, I live after that because it's like, oh, especially in June, anything grows at once. Oh my gosh, where do you start? Well, I look in here, it's like, oh, just the leaf. So I just go through all my leaf vegetables and I seed, I weed, I harvest on those days. Okay. With the root vegetables, for example, I have the greatest potatoes because of that. I put the potatoes in on a root day, I hill them on a root day, I weed them on a root day, and especially I'm going to harvest them because I will store them for a longer time. Those calendars is very useful when you want to have this high quality, a high nutrition, and also that it stores for you very long. With the harvest, if you eat it right away, it's not that super important, but especially if you want to put it into storage, you want to do it. Here's a little bigger picture of those gray areas. It's like, this is when you visit your neighbors and you have to have some coffee and some nice visiting time because there's nothing you can do in the garden. Okay, it's pretty nice. The skies look after you, that you also not forget your people next door. I don't really understand the stuff there. I'm really grateful that somebody knows and puts that together. I just buy it and use it, and it really works. You get really, in that way, when you do that, you bring in those energies and you strengthen your vegetables, and they become very healthy and very strong. we are working with nature. Of course, there will be something not working. Doesn't mean that you do something wrong, okay? It doesn't mean at all. You want to accept that, because this is the way of nature. But the way of nature also makes always sure you get what you will need. For example, if there's a lot of beans one year, this is what you need. Last year I had a super crop of beets and potatoes. Okay, this is the way how nature talks to you, okay? You need some more grounding, have some more root vegetables. If you have gardens, you want to make sure that your gardens and your soil life stays balanced. It's like if you eat all the time the same stuff, in your body's like, no, thank you. You want to rotate. A rotation you can remember very, very easy. You follow the evolution growth. How do you like my paintings? Nice, hey? So the root, a seed always will put out its roots first. Same for you. You can only grow spiritual when you are grounded, when you put your roots down. You know, nothing can grow if it's not connected to earth. Then the leaf come out. Then, in some cases, the flower comes out. Sometimes it takes a couple of years before it flowers, right? But this is the way how the plant ensures it's continuing. And then after the flower, the bee comes or something else comes and pollinates, and it becomes a fruit. So your first year, this is like your parcel or a part in your garden. You put all the roots in. Then the year after that, you go down there and put your roots there where the leaves were. So you go and rotate it. So after 4 years, you might put your potatoes again on the same place. Very important. Potatoes are really demanding on the soil. Here is a different picture again. If you have lots of room, you can even put a piece in as a rest. There you can put some green crop. You don't take anything out, you turn it into the soil again. So there I have beets, I have some lettuce, flowers. The flower seed you can put in, but you ever harvest a flower, maybe chamomile or something else. Or this also is almost like a piece of rest as well. And then all your fruits. Now, I talked about, you know, those really high vibration of your vegetables. Harvest. You see, this is when I was in production with the salad greens. I could harvest like 10 of those boxes, like 4 pounds of salad greens every week out of my backyard. Out of my backyard. Okay? So you don't need a whole acre to do that. You can turn that actually also into a business or in a community garden. We can feed a lot of people from a small parcel of soil, good healthy soil, when you really keep it healthy. And those kinds of potatoes, aren't they fun? So harvest. When do you harvest usually? If you have a garden and in the evening you think, okay, what do I make for supper? Oh, okay, I can do some stuff. Then you go out and harvest. No. If you want to look for the high nutrition and the highest chi in your plants, you're gonna do that in the morning for your salad. Okay? Energy is moving up in the morning and it's moving down to the ground in the afternoon. Just think about yourself. How do you feel in the morning? Yeah, let's go, and you have plants, and then in the afternoon you go down, right? It's like the breath of earth. She's breathing out in the morning and she's breathing in the afternoon. By the way, our body is very close to earth, right? Earth has 70% water, so do you. Your body is like 70% water. You also the same, the 4 elements also. It's all in your body. So everything that is above the ground, you want to pick in the morning. Everything that is in the ground, below the surface, you pick in the afternoon. So that you move with the energy. In that way, you get a really high. This is the perfect harvest for the vegetables. If you want to turn that into your blender drink. I wanted to talk about blender drink. Isn't that nice? And I always grow different things in my garden. You have to, the eyes always eat as well. Last year I grew a lot of kale. I picked it and I turned it into kale powder, which I then in the winter use to put in my blender drinks. Okay, this is a superfood, they call it now, and you probably have heard all about it. This is superfood because it comes out of your own garden. You have touched it, you have seeded it. And I even stored some of them in a pot, right? The first time I brought Kathy a bag of my nice greens, and she took those and put it in a blender. I almost got a heart attack when she did that, because really nice little plant leaves, and she said, "Well, you cannot really chew it that small." I was like, "Yeah, you're right," and it tasted pretty good. So now I'm growing greens also to put them in the blender drinks. So what can you put in there? Kale, all winter greens. Now it's really in Calgary those greens, but you guys can even put your ABC. But look for organic, okay? It's not just for being organic, but also it's not just for your body, but it's also for the environment. We gotta make sure that we really, whatever we do here, it has an effect. It's not just for us here. We have to bring ourselves a little bit to global thinking, not just what can I do here. It's what is good for me right now. No, it's not just you. It's not just me. So this is all the stuff. And experiment. Put in your blender drink whatever you feel like. If you harvest in the morning, this kale, this is what I did. I harvest in the morning, and I processed it right the same day. You want to use maybe food dehydrator. Then you get it fresh, you harvest it fresh, and you process it right away. It's nothing better. You cannot get that anywhere. Food dehydrator has a low temperature and has lots of air. So this is the best way how you can try your vegetables or your greens. And this is like really potent, that kale. One time I took a little bit too much, because it goes down, and then the powder, so you gotta be a little bit careful. But it's still green, right? It's still nice and green. Here is a little bit why you can get the Excalibur. Yeah. So this is what we use, and it's really not expensive. So you can get that, and you start put some of this nice harvest out of your garden, put it away so that you have it in the winter. Another thing is full moon and night frost go hand in hand. Okay. You always will get a frost with the full moon, so watch out. Space efficiency in the garden, I do beds rather than rows. You can see that here. This is the intensive grow. It's more intensive. You conserve water. You have a better space use, and with rows, you really compact the soil. You walk on it. So this is why I got so much out of a little space with this idea. Here's some other pictures from my garden. But this white is not snow, okay? It's row cover. I use a lot of row cover, especially with the cabbage, because the cabbage will attract the cabbage worm. The only way how you can get around is if it's a row cover, not spray, right? The floating row cover, I use some of those seed companies, but you gotta Google that here, who's selling right now here in your area, okay? So, what can I say? You wanna have fun in your garden, bring your kids and show them the loving care of your vegetable. You wanna grow some flowers for the bees. Without bees, there is nothing happen. Okay, so you want to give them something, and of course for your soul as well. I mean, what is nicer than having a flower in your house, right out of your garden? Also, always try something different. You know, stretch yourself. This is a fava bean, and this is all potatoes. Those color ones, it's all different potatoes. Those tomatoes, they are not all red. They are super sweet, especially that green one. Okay, so look at it. And here you're in paradise. You can grow so much great stuff. Also, what I really like to say, have room in your heart for all life. Also in your garden. And I'm talking about the weed. What we call the weed is also a plant. Mostly actually our medicine. Also this other insects, butterflies, beautiful. What about the spiders? No exception, no judgment. What belongs there or not. Nature knows exactly what belongs in the garden. So have room in your garden, in your heart for all life. What can I say? I share that information with you, but it's up to you now to take it actually to your garden or to your neighbors and start growing garden, turn your lawn into gardens. And you know, if I can do it, you can do it. Sure of that. I know that was really, really short, but there's so much more information. You can ask me later, or you know, get the whole workshop as well. And then you can spread it. We are, I think, done. Okay, so we can go now to the part where you can ask some questions.